There we go. I think you're live.
Okay. Hello. But he dropped his chewy. Are you doing that on purpose or what? Hey, yeah. Okay. Okay. How is everybody today? It's nice out here right now.
God damn it. Fuck.
Supposed to, all right. Get you, Julie. You have to sit back with it so you don't do it. Oh, Julie, 63 degrees in Indiana. Hey, Mark Ryan, how are you?
Hi, Julie. When you coming down?
Wrestler. Video passes hi. Okay.
Go down there and eat it. Because all you're going to do is drop it on the floor 100 times.
Yeah. Rich A said hi from Warminster, Pennsylvania. 71 degrees and sunny. Well, good for you. Yes, I'm glad the internet's back too. We were out there for this morning and been kind of worried about getting it back up, but we was able to get it back up real quick. So Matt's 392,000 or 300. Well, anyhow, hey Matt.
Who is that?
It says Matt's 392,000.
Matt. I got notified from Patreon, and sometimes it's a mistake. That's the only reason why I asked, that you canceled your membership. Let me know if that's true or not, because if you did, I need to take you off the scroll. And I always check because sometimes they do updates, and when they do updates, I get false notices.
Oh, Becky. She said we have 28 and white yuck. We know what that is. Doggone. Well, I think they're predicting. I actually opened the patio doors today to let the cool air in because they were predicting 92 today here, and I just didn't know if the iPad would handle that kind of heat.
We'll find out.
We'll find out. I said if you lose us, you'll know what happened. I said the thing got too hot, but right now we got a little bit of a breeze, not bad, and yes, finally Porch Settin. Hey, Carol. Skip Richards says 55 in Cape Cod. Well, you knew it was not summer yet, so I know everybody had a little reprieve. They had some nice weather. I talked to my son. They were having 75-degree weather there in Indiana, but I knew it wasn't going to last. This is still, this is starting the spring, so you still got some cold coming, but I said it'll be spring soon. Yeah, it'll be nice and warm before you know it. Like I said, we went right from cold to hot. Before you know it. Just no in between. And like I said, I'm not complaining at all. We had way too much cold weather this year. And like I said, I was not crazy about it. So I'm not going to complain about the heat. But I said, it does take a toll on your equipment. And I said we wasn't sure that the iPad would be okay in the heat. I said it's not that hot yet, but it's getting there. I think usually our hottest time of the day is usually about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So around that time, that's when it'll probably get to the 90s. But this is supposed to be the hottest day of the week. So Becky said we're expecting high winds tonight and more white yuck. On the bright side, it's sunny right now. Well, enjoy the sun while you got it. Wrestler says, Skip, for some reason I can't access my creator page on Patreon. Had a few videos on schedule to release, but I can't access it to upload my new cruise videos.
Is he talking about on his page or my page? Because
Well,
he don't have a creator page with me, I don't think.
oh, well, I'm
I
just
don't
telling
know. You got me, Russell. What are you asking me for? You're the channel manager.
you. Alfonso Smith says, hey guys, nice to see you. Watching from town. Got 2 friends with me watching y'all this week, introducing them to the villages. Oh, cool. Well, Alfonso, we always tell everybody bring their checkbook, because once you've been here, once you've seen what's going on here, it's one of those things where you want to be here. So
I can't even begin to tell you how many people we've talked to. We met them or whatever for a drink or something. And they usually want to do that because they want to ask questions. And so if we got friends we can take with us, we take them with us so they can ask them questions too, because their opinion may be different than our opinion. Like, for example, I hate food reviews. I hate them. I don't like answering them. I try to ignore them because everybody's got different tastes and different things and the way it's cooked and the different restaurants and all this and that. So when somebody says, like, a rib place, everybody knows where I go for ribs. But I went with Jerry one day to a place he likes, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't care for ribs at all. They were too fatty, too everything. But he loved them.
Yeah.
And Linda, well, of course, she didn't eat any meat, but she always orders stuff. You ever notice her? She's got a trick. She orders food because she likes to tell people, I'm not a vegetarian. But she orders food, and it has meat and stuff on it. She might take a bite, if that. But then when they come around saying, would you like a go home, the way you recall them, a to-go home package? Yes. Because any meat that's on her plate, she takes it home to Frank.
Well, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Because you're fooling yourself when you say, I do eat meat. See, I just ordered this. But then you don't eat it, you send it home to Frank.
Well, I think that's the best way to do it if you're going to not eat meat.
That's like saying you don't like bacon, but then you order breakfast, you wrap the bacon up in your napkin, and give it to your dog. How many people do that?
I do.
You do that.
I do, because my dog likes bacon.
Well, I thought you weren't a vegetarian.
What?
Thought you weren't a vegetarian.
I'm not a vegetarian.
Oh, but we don't eat the meat.
Not if I don't, want
See
it.
what I mean? These people they're dingy around here.
Oh, listen, for somebody that eats
Hey,
cereal.
by the way, I seen some new babies yesterday walking around
Yeah, did you see my picture?
on Discord.
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, had 2 little babies, and they look like Easter
I
chicks.
seen it. For some
They were
reason,
that
whenever the buzzards fly around here, he
Well,
keeps
because he's worried about those buzzards.
He ain't worried. He's a dog. Dogs don't worry.
Well, anyhow.
But he don't like it. He sees that shadow.
Oh, and Rester says only YouTube for now.
Huh?
Rester says only YouTube for now.
I don't know what that means. Only on YouTube now.
I don't know. Jerry says Rester call you manager. Yeah, we're in the height of guest season. Yeah, I didn't even realize that spring break was here until I seen so many kids. A lot of kids here. And come to visit. Then I said, that's nice. But I said, once you start seeing them, there's a reason. They've got Easter, what do they call it? The villages thing that they do with the kids every year.
Well, they're getting ready for Camp Villages.
That's it, Camp Villages. They got Easter Camp Villages starting, and I think they had to register last Friday or
I
something
think
like
we
that.
took a scooter to, or you did, a couple places for Camp Villages.
Yeah. And I think he's aged out now. I don't think he can even go, but...
Why? What's the age limit?
Well, I don't know. They've got a few things for older kids, but not normally. They stop at the 12,
How old
13
is he?
mark.
12?
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of stuff on there for 12-year-olds.
yeah. Well,
He's
I
not
think
down
that's
here. It makes no difference. He's not even here.
Yeah, but I think that's the limit. Rester says embarkation video will be released on my YouTube channel this Saturday. Planning to have one cruise video up every Saturday until it's done. You took a lot of pictures. Yeah. Gringo Loco says hola. All y'all. Becky Forbes says Brad always brings the bacon home. Well, the dogs don't get a treat that often, that kind of treat. And I said he's got his bacon flavored chewies and what have you, but he really likes the real bacon. And usually in the restaurant they use that thick stuff, and not my kind of bacon. So I'm so used to the stuff that nobody wants, the
He's about due for a haircut.
stuff that's microwaved. That real bacon kind of tastes yuck. somewhere in the census, high all from warm for now, Ohio, but cold is on its way back. Let's hope it's short term.
1? You mean like 1 degrees?
She didn't say anything about 1.
I thought you said 1.
I said high all from warm
Oh, warm.
for now, Ohio, but cold is on its way back. Yeah, that's why I said, you know, the kids told me it was 75 in Indiana, so they said, and they knew that the cold was coming. How did y'all fare during all the tornadoes? I mean, they were talking a lot of tornadoes yesterday.
Cover your head and duck.
Well, you know, that area, and they normally get a lot of tornadoes, but it's kind of early in the year, actually.
That's one thing I liked about the farm. We had a storm shelter. Older houses back in the day all came with a storm shelter.
Yeah. Yeah, if you could get down those stairs, you were safe.
Yeah.
And rest of after cruise videos are done, I will start on my Florida videos. At least that's the plan. Okie doke. Well, like I said,
I'm just confused what he said about Patreon.
yeah, you'll have to talk to him about that because I don't understand it.
Is he talking about my page or is he talking about his page? That's what I want to know.
Okay.
Because if there's a problem with my Patreon.
Okay, he's giving clarification for you. When I was
Because
visiting.
3 o'clock today is when the news comes out on Patreon.
Okay, clarification for Skip. When I was visiting y'all, Skip asked if I will have my cruise videos on Patreon first.
His page. On his Patreon, not mine.
No. So I said yes because that was the plan until I found my Patreon excess issues.
No, so his Patreon has got an access problem, not mine. I just want to know if it's his or mine. That's all I want to know.
Okay.
I don't care if he posted naked women on there. I just want to know if it's his Patreon or my Patreon.
Okay.
That's all I want to know.
He'll give you another clarification here shortly.
I don't need any more. I think he's talking about his.
Okay. Becky says 6-inch hail in Illinois last night. Wow.
Let me look. So I got his Patreon.
Tornadoes in Kankakee, 80 miles south of me. That was Laura. Yeah, like I said, I seen that there was so many in that Midwest region there, and like I said, hey, I don't know if any of them hit. Like I said, haven't talked that far. And he said yes, his.
Oh. Well, I don't know if he's had a problem up there or not, but Sue tried to tell a while ago. You guys probably don't know, but I wasn't sure we was even going to have Porch Settin today because we got up today. We had 0 internet. That ain't happened for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean 0. And I had to use my portable internet that I use from Verizon that I take in the camper with me to have anything to get on, because when I don't have internet, I can't really, that's the worst thing about internet. We're so dependent on it that if your internet goes out, you can't do half of nothing. I can't do my yard sprinklers out here because it has to have Wi-Fi to work on my phone. Every app has to have Wi-Fi to work on your phone.
My problem was I didn't have Spectrum's phone number in my phone, and I threw out all the phone books. So, you know, I had to call a neighbor and get the number for Spectrum. Thank you, Marianne. And to get them even to look at it. The first number I called, you know, they said, you want mobile or internet or what have you. And then I said, then she said she'd reset it. Skip said he'd reset it several times. So then you call that number back, and then they finally give you a service person. And
he walks through the steps that I've never had before. And whatever it was, it worked.
Yeah.
I called,
Xander.
what's it like?
Xander.
Lysander. Or Xander.
Xander.
Whatever his name is. He's the Spectrum management in the villages here, at least in our area. And I've gotten a hold of him a couple of times, and usually he's Johnny on the spot. So I sent him a thing saying, hey, could I can send messages on the phone? I said, hey, is the internet out in this area? He sent me a thing back, so I just checked. He said, no. He said, if there's a problem, he said, go to the whatever channel, and he says, bypass something and go directly to speak to a person. Just bypass everything.
Yeah, because that's what I said. They sent me an internet thing, and I said, I don't have internet, I can't use it.
That's what I kept trying to tell him. He said, well, he said, in order to get into your account to do that, he said, you have to sign in. I said, I'm trying to tell you, listen to me. I can't sign in because I couldn't remember my password. I hate this password shit. I'm just tired of it. I said, because it asks now for a username. I said, I didn't set this up. I said, Lysander set this up. And I don't even know what my username is. I don't know what he put in there. And if he asked me, I forgot what I even told him, and I didn't keep note of it. I said, so well, I got you on the phone. Can you do that? He said, I'm not allowed to do that on the phone. He said, you'll have to sign in. I said, you're not listening once again. I cannot sign in.
Yeah, somewhere in the sun says tornadoes are very destructive in Michigan. Most of Ohio now under tornado watch. D. Weichel says, howdy from Michigan. And Becky says, I've seen videos from the hail. They were unbelievable. Denise Kill says, hi. And Katie Kayak says, in Michigan, have some downed large trees due to high winds. Glad we didn't downsize the chainsaw yet. Yeah, hang on to that chainsaw till you leave. Yeah. And
I know in Indiana, I think everybody owned a chainsaw.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody owned a chainsaw. We hardly ever used them, but we had them.
Yeah.
Down here, I won't say everybody, but a whole hell of a lot of people owns generators of some kind. Portable, small, big. Some of them's got the permanent ones that go in, so when the lights go out, it automatically comes on.
And I think it's because they're used to what happens up north.
I'm thinking it's just because of hurricane.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they're used to what happens up north. Like, even with the hurricane, we didn't lose power, but they're used to that kind of thing, so that's why they have them.
Yeah, well, I got several generators, so I'm not worried about it. Push come to shove, I'll drive the motorhome over here, start the generator up, and I'll live in it.
Yeah. Oh, my. Let's see. Becky Forbes said, I'm trying to get Brad to get Starlink, and he's resisting. We've had Spectrum for
That's
years.
been on my mind, I'll be honest with you.
And lately, they've been terrible. Now, this is the first time in a long time we've had a
we
problem.
haven't had that much trouble with it, but
Yeah.
I will say, the more building that goes on in the villages, a certain percentage of the people get Spectrum, and I think Spectrum's going to have to grow. They have to change equipment. These problems are going to get more persistent. And
But it's wonderful that they can do it by phone. You know, we didn't have to wait for a man to come out here.
I'm working for the company once again, getting on my knees to get underneath the desk to get a hold of this stuff, to give him numbers, unplug this, plug that in. I don't work for them.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if you'd have waited 4 to 5 hours to get a man out here.
That means they don't have enough people. They need to hire people.
Well, that's not going to happen. But
Well,
Somewhere
Starlink's
in
been
the
on my
sun.
mind. I've been thinking about it. The problem with Starlink is you got to buy the equipment, and they got so many different types. I want the good stuff. I don't want to try to save $5 if $5 more buys me the good stuff.
yeah.
And I don't know what the good stuff is. I'm kind of stupid when it comes to Starlink. And if I got Starlink, where do I put it? You're under our rules here. I'm not allowed to put it on the roof of the house. Not sure I really want to. Really, that's all I need is another hole in the roof of my house.
Yeah.
Can I put it in the backyard and mount it on a pole? Can I leave it out in the rain? I don't know any of these things.
Well, and somewhere in the sun wants to know is the villages are internet providers per district or actual village?
I think it's by territory, by district, I think. Because when we first got here, there was only one internet service here. What was it called? Before Spectrum bought it?
Bright
House.
House.
That was it. And then there was a lawsuit. I remember that. Somebody talked about a lawsuit. It wasn't from us, it's from the other companies here. Then they allowed, what's the other one? The one that has terrible service. You go there once in a while. Comcast. Then after Comcast, lady over here put a kind of a weird looking antenna on top of her house, but it don't even really look like an antenna. It don't look like much of anything. And then she said that she got that, whatever it is, because they settled a lawsuit saying that you could not discriminate other competition. And then that's when the, what they call it, direct dish. I've seen a few homes here with direct dish. You can't put them on the roof though. We have rules about that.
Yeah.
But what they do is they put it in the ground on a pole, and it's usually up against the house where it's not bothering anybody, where they got direct line to the satellite somewhere, no trees, and they install it that way. We had direct dish in Indiana, and I'll be honest with you, I kind of liked it. The only problem with our direct dish was it snowed. And when it snowed, it covered the dish. And when it covered the dish, we had all kinds of problems. I had to get up there on the ladder, icy, slick, and clean that dish
But that
off.
was kind of early on with cable TV and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They've kind of refined
They've come
things
a long
bit.
way.
Yeah.
So, I'm always looking for a better option, especially if I can save $1 or $2.
But for your question, I think it's more district. There's certain areas that you can and can't get.
Well, I know that Jose was telling us up there where he's at, they don't have a couple of things. I forget what it was. Somebody was saying in their neighborhood they didn't have what's that? Damn, what's that line for internet where it's actually a light that goes through it?
Fiber.
Fiber optics. Yes, we had fiber optics here. I said, I think we do. I don't know that I do, but I know a couple of people over here, their internet is fiber optics, and I talked to him. I said, is it any better than what I've got? And he says, no. He said, I had what you had, and I got this, they could be better. And he said, I don't see where it's any better. And I think that's AT&T.
Okay.
Right.
Well, and like I said, there's different companies that's offering it. Trying to think of what that other internet provider is.
Yeah,
the one that the village offers.
Yeah, there's another company right now going around tearing up neighborhoods. It's disruptive as hell. And they're installing fiber optics. But it ain't AT&T. It's a company I've really never heard of.
Yeah.
And it's been on the news a couple of times where neighbors are raising hell because their streets are tore up.
CenturyLink.
Maybe. I don't remember.
Yeah, I know that was the first one that had fiber optics here was CenturyLink. And I think that's the developer's internet, but I'm not
But
sure.
most of that is, yeah, it's approved by district. Like I'm in District 10. I don't know how many homes are here, several.
Oh, and Rester says, sorry, all I can't type and read comments at the same time. Hello to all I missed. Jose,
Yeah.
Jerry, etc.
Yeah. Well, don't feel bad. I can't remember squat anymore.
And Rester says vegan bacon. Well,
Vegan bacon.
they do have different.
Actually, I've had vegan bacon somewhere. I remember.
Yeah.
They said that's all they had, which that really ticks me off. That you guys are ruining it for me.
No, y'all just won't get out of the way.
No, no, no.
No.
Restaurants cater to their customers. That's how they make money. Grocery stores cater to their customers. Last week we only sold 3 boxes of this cereal, but we sold 100 boxes of this over here. They cater to their customers. So when I go into a restaurant and say, hey, I want a hamburger, all we have is vegan burger, you're screwing up my dinner. You're messing up my menu.
What about on the other side?
Don't eat there.
That leaves you very few options. You know that.
I eat at home.
Well, and like I said, it should be enough for everybody.
I'll go to McDonald's.
Okay. Becky Farber says barf on vegan bacon. It's really not that
you
bad.
know what? I'll go to a bar. I don't know any bar that serves beer and a burger that serves a vegan burger. I don't know of any bar.
Wow.
I could be wrong about that here, but outside of the villages I'm talking
But
about.
they never call it a vegan burger. It's an Impossible Burger.
Yeah,
it's a black
Impossible
bean burger.
Impossible
you know.
Burgers is what I see here in the villages. I don't know if that's everywhere.
Yeah.
That name.
Yeah.
And then you got a vegan burger one time. It was just downright disgusting. I looked at it, thought it looked like all they done took a bunch of fried vegetables and threw it in the bun.
Basically.
You didn't like it either.
Well, no, I didn't like that because it wasn't in a patty like a hamburger. It was just loose vegetables on a bun. That was hard to eat. Not bad, but it was hard to eat because it all fell out.
Here's my theory on that.
Don't go there.
The chef back there thinks that vegan stuff is stupid. Why would you order a hamburger if it don't have meat in it? Here, I'll just give her this crap. Maybe she'll never come back and order again.
Yeah, well, that goes to show what the mentality is of the people's working.
That's
Truthfully.
all inside the villages.
Yeah. Well, what if you had a certain disease and you couldn't eat meat?
What disease is that?
Well, a lot of people have certain problems and they can't eat meat.
You said disease.
Yeah, there's diseases.
What disease says you can't
I don't
eat
know
meat?
what they are. I didn't
If
look
you don't have
into it.
if you don't have the evidence to back up your statement, then don't make the statement.
Okay.
Where's he going? He's by himself in a golf cart.
Who?
Neighbor, he never goes by himself. They must have got into a fight.
Oh,
He's always him and her.
probably went to the mailbox.
He had swimming trunks on. He's gone to the
Oh,
pool.
he's going to the pool.
He didn't take her.
Well,
Have to investigate this.
hey, hi, Gina Bina and Chase Man. Haven't heard from you in a while. Rich A says, Skip, I have an Excel spreadsheet with all my passwords with a printed copy in a safe place.
Don't you think it's ridiculous that we've come to this? It's just ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous.
There's so many things like the portal that your doctor sets up. I can never get into that thing, without calling them. It's always, I think I know the password. It's always wrong.
Listen, I can understand banks, make sure they can't steal your money. I can understand that. Credit card stuff with password, I can understand that. But I'm talking about stupid stuff. I can't even turn my TV on anymore without going through a rigmarole of crap every day. Every day. Because my TV, when I bought it, it came with Google. Now you got to buy a TV with Roku in it, Google, all this stupid crap. All I want to do is watch TV. That's all I want to do. Well, the TVs today's got Bluetooth, they got Wi-Fi, and all that's fine and dandy, because you can always shut that stuff off. But when you got Google, it connects to every Google account you have, which is YouTube. I got 3 YouTube accounts, Patreon.
Oh, yeah. A while ago when we were trying to figure out the internet thing, he was on the phone with the technician, and they're trying to get the internet back. My watch all at once disconnected him, and the guy's voice kept coming over my watch. I was in the other room. You talk about something, because Skip was sitting there. Are you still there? Are you still there? He was there. He kept saying, hello, hello. And I kept seeing it, and it dawned on him it was coming out of my watch.
That's what I'm saying. This world is turning into a nut city. All I want to do is turn the TV on. That's all I want. I can't. Once you shut it off and turn it on, it restarts.
I'm just wondering how much you can hear that I didn't know about.
I don't know. I was waiting for him to say something to me, because he said, unplug this now, wait, now plug it back in. I said, okay, I plugged it in. He goes, okay, let's wait 2 minutes. And then that was it. He disappeared.
Well, then I kept hearing something, and I was sweeping the floor, I think, and I kept hearing something, and I thought, what must be coming from the other room? And then all at once it dawned on me, because I heard you say, are you still there? And he said the same thing. Are you still there?
I think I'm starting to understand how Dad went through all this crap when he had cable. We got him cable, and then he had a TV antenna too, where he could switch over to TV antenna. So he had 2 boxes. He had his box to change the channel on the TV, and then he had the box for the cable system, which also allowed you to switch over to the outside antenna if you wanted to. He did not get along with it at all. He would go to our son's house all the time, say, can you come over and fix this damn thing? He said, I can't get nothing, because the box had to be like on, say, channel 2. No, the TV had to be on channel 2, and then when you turned the box on, it automatically synced with the TV, so you could watch whatever, HBO or whatever. We give him a package. And he had trouble all the time, and I think about that now and then when I look at myself having trouble with this. I'm the same way now.
Yeah, and I don't know what's going to happen until it happens. Just like when I pull in the garage, if my car's, my phone's on, if I pull in the garage, if you're talking to somebody, it'll switch to my car. That's happened a couple
I can't tell you
times.
how many times I've sat in front of that computer, and then all of a sudden I hear people just talking. I don't know who they are. She pulled in the garage, and it just disconnected her phone and connected to the TV, Google or something.
Yeah, and like I said, it's kind of scary when you think about it. But Mark Ryan says switch from Xfinity to Quantum Fiber in Liberty Park with 0 regrets.
Quantum fiber, maybe that was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and then I've heard people talk, so much about fiber being excellent, but truthfully, we've not had much problem with this.
No.
This is, I think this is the second time since we switched over to this. And
the only reason why I got this system with Spectrum, it's not the normal system. It's high speed, is because we had that W&L show. And I wanted to make sure there was as little buffering as possible and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And at that time, this was the highest speed that I could get anywhere in the villages, unless I had a commercial license, which I didn't want to get. But we get 1,000 megabytes of, is it megabytes or gigabytes? I don't even know the difference there. But it's 1,000 something upload, and 50 or 60, it usually hangs in that area there, download, right? Or is it the other way around? 1,000 download and 50 or 60 uploads. Whatever it is, it works really well for me when I do videos, because I'm working on the news last night till probably 3 or 4 o'clock this morning to get it up for Patreon today, and it's like almost an hour long. And with all the edits you do and refocusing of the pictures and all that stuff, that's a lot. And so to upload it sometimes on the old system I had with Comcast, sometimes it would literally, I would get it done, and I'd go to download it or upload it or whatever I did. I'd download it to the computer. I went to bed. That way I knew when I got up the next day, it would be done. It'd be on there. And now I can download it in a matter of, say, 10 or 15 minutes, and it's a lot. So that's why I don't change it, because I know it works. And when I go to this other stuff that they're talking about, I'm thinking about all the stuff that I've seen other people post on YouTube, the digging up of the yard to put the cable in, and changing this to that, coming in the house, setting it all up, get me another password, give me another app.
Oh, and I was thinking, the guy just come and aerated the yard.
I thought he might have kept, when they bury the cable in the yard, I don't know if you've ever seen it done here. It ain't like it is in Indiana. Mm-hmm. They don't have a freeze here. They take look like actually like a snow shovel. It's a long blade snow shovel, kind of like, and they just ram it in the ground. Or they don't use their foot. They just.
And it doesn't have to be wide, because that wire is not wide.
Yeah, so the cable for my Wi-Fi and stuff in here, it isn't in the ground. I'll say maybe 4 inches, 5 inches. So now the guy comes here and he aerates the yard. Them little round things that are about this
Pull
long.
The plugs out, yeah.
And he takes plugs out of the yard. And then they fertilize the yard. When the Wi-Fi was out, that's what I was thinking.
That's what I was thinking.
I bet he cut my cable.
Yeah, when he was just finishing up, when you said we don't have internet, and I thought, oh gosh, he's probably hit something. But I went back there and looked, and he didn't get close to where the box is.
The box is over here. It goes through the backyard, around the side of the house, and comes in right over here.
Yeah. But
so he could have hit that cable anywhere.
Yeah. Well,
I'm thinking about having him stop doing that, because I just know that's going to happen sooner or later.
Now, somewhere in the sense that fiber is great, 5 or 6 years, no problems. That's what I said. I've always heard it.
How deep in the ground is it in your yard? And have you ever had your yard plugged?
Well, I said that's normally what they do the aeration, and then they put down potash.
They don't tell me how deep they bury the cable.
Well, no, but like I said, it's never been a problem before, so I don't think so.
Well, for us, but with this new optic stuff, I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I don't either. Laura says I would try vegan bacon. The vegan Italian sausage I bought last week was good, but a little on the high side for sodium. Yeah, Laura, I've tried a lot of that stuff. Some of it is just too gummy, if you know what I mean.
I'll tell you what's high on sodium. People are talking about that, so I've been kind of watching.
Salt?
Well, I do. Look, I don't look at salt as being a bad medicine. I look at salt as no more than pepper or no more than paprika. It's a seasoning. That's all I look at it as. But there's a certain soup that Sue gets for me. Most people probably don't like it, but I like it. And at nighttime, it's easy to warm it up, put it in a bowl, and I eat it. And I've noticed that soups have got a lot of salt in it. God.
Yes. All of them do. A lot of them. Let's see. Skip Richards says, I never lost my interest during a blizzard. Mount it just about anywhere. Okay, I think he means internet.
Oh, his internet?
Never lost his internet during a blizzard. I mount it just about anywhere, so.
I've lost my Wi-Fi services from a lot of companies here and there, different places we've lived.
Yeah, and it was a matter of who was the easiest to get a problem taken care of.
Yeah, and sometimes when you move to an area, even around the country, you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
This little town like where Dad was at, the internet was this company, that's it.
They voted that in, actually. The city council voted that company in to provide the internet. And I didn't even know they did things like that. But yeah, they voted for that one company.
One company, and that was it. No, I don't know what's up with all that, but anyway, when Dad was not doing well and we were up there to take care of him, I still needed internet, and he didn't have any. So he had, I think, dial-up back then. And I thought, good God, nobody uses dial-up.
Well, he had regular cable.
Well, we had to call this company. I forget who we got that information from. It was like one of the firemen or something around there. And they come out to the house, and Dad had the old phone. I kid you not. And they had to take all that out and put in a box down there and rewire some stuff, or because he said, you want us to update your phone to a push button or something? You know, and I said, no, you better not. I said, Dad will freak out. You better not. So anyway, he did it, got it going so we could have some internet. And that's when I found out by talking to that guy that installed this, we're it. If you need anything, call me. I live around the corner. I'm your internet guy.
Yeah.
There's nobody else.
Yeah. Oh, and Denise Kill says, I highly recommend T-Mobile. Affordable and the best internet I've ever
I've
had.
heard that a lot, and I guess their upload and download speeds are pretty good. I know that by phone. I don't know how that works when it comes to a complicated computer system that you have.
And then what Linda had up in the mountains?
That's all she had up there.
Yeah.
I don't know if she had a choice. But here, I got to know things, you know, like T-Mobile on your phone, no matter where you go, you got good internet, good service, blah, blah, blah. Compared to what, I want to know. And when you say at home, I got good service. I'm not doubting that at all, but I have to know things. I want to know what the download speed, the upload speed is. Is it this way 24/7? If I got a problem, who do I call? Because I don't think T-Mobile's got an office around here for technical support. I don't want to call some Japanese guy that lives out in California.
I think they have one over in Wildwood.
Do they?
Yeah. But anyhow, we're not changing yet.
Well, I will, because I'm paying like $100 a month for this high-speed internet, I think. That's what it was when we had W&L, because I asked him about it. So, you know, if I can get, because I don't do W&L anymore, but
And that's why it was a lot of them. A lot of people say their internet's great, but they only use it for email and
right.
messaging, and, you know, they
Right.
don't use it like we do.
And you don't need anything fancy if you're just going to do email and watch TV and that's it. But if you do things live for long periods of time, I mean, we did W&L, sometimes I'd have 5 or 6 guests all at the same time on the computer. You need a lot for that.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I'd have to check it out. But the truth of it is, I'm getting to the age where I don't like changing. I don't like change. I don't like moving. I've moved enough. I kind of like just sitting here and watching life pass me by.
Jerry says fiber internet typically provides symmetrical speeds, meaning your upload and download speeds are identical.
Okay. But what are they?
Oh, well, that I don't know.
I mean, if it's 10 up and 10 down, that ain't squat.
Mary Louise Mathis says, hello, everyone. In my humble opinion, reliability beats speed any day.
I'm still thinking about Elon Musk stuff. I could put that in the backyard. I'm just not sure, how does it get in the house? I don't want to do a bunch of wiring through the attic and stuff. I'm not doing that.
And Gringo says, T-Mobile has very limited internet coverage in the villages, at least from my plugging in various addresses. Yeah, you know, that's just it. Like I said, there's certain areas where they're better. I know used to, south of 44, the internet was awful. But then they put in a couple more towers, and I think because when the first people moved down to Finney, they were actually getting some kind of return for their internet because it was so bad.
Cell phone service.
Yeah, cell phone service.
That's not internet.
But that's the way it is with everything else here. You know, certain areas it's got certain things, and you know sometimes they work good. Let's say we've had 3 or 4 different services, and I said so far this one's been the best. And the best for getting anything fixed. The Brightline was wonderful.
Brightline? No.
Yeah, it was. That's why we
It wasn't
got
Brightline.
We went from
Bright House.
Bright House, yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's
We went from Xfinity to Bright House.
Xfinity was the worst.
Well, for repairs. It wasn't necessarily.
No, when it was working, it was fine as far as internet and stuff goes. But if you had a problem, you might as well just get in your car and drive over there because you ain't getting a hold of nobody.
Yeah, and that's what happened. But most of them, and I'm not sure if all of them do it, but most of them, they try to solve it over the phone first. Because if you don't do that first and they have to send out a guy to look at it, they'll charge you. Now, not all of them are like that, but that's the way most of them are. They try to resolve it over the phone, and God knows you could be on the phone for hours. And that's why,
This is at least the second time we've called them, and both times it got resolved on the phone.
Yeah.
It's just that I take exception to, once again, they figured out a way to get me to do somebody's job so they don't have to hire that person to do the job that they're getting me to do.
Well, I didn't have to pay anybody to come out here to do it either.
Shouldn't have to.
Well, let's see. Somewhere in the Sun says, yes, our neighborhood was torn up installing fiber about 6 years ago to install fiber. Luckily, our yard wasn't affected. We switched and love it super fast.
But see, the question is, okay, they go down the street, they do what they got to do to get fiber optics in your neighborhood. How do they connect that fiber optics to your house without going through your yard? That's the part that I don't get.
Oh. Oh, well, she said her yard wasn't affected, so I don't know. They took
I'm
the
not
line
sure
somewhere.
I believe that, because I've had different kinds of cable company here, and between the houses here, and I think that's the way in most neighborhood, all those long strip, that's, what do you call it, when you can't build on it, you can't plan on it, you can't do anything. That's for the cable companies and electric companies back here behind our houses here. And so anytime that they come from the main line comes in that main road over there, I think, what is that, Mary Road? Mm-hmm. And then it comes down behind all of our houses, and that's where they put the boxes to hook your cable to bring it inside your house. So they got all that lined up back here in the neighborhood. And now when you move in, you say, well, I'll go with Bright House, which is what we did. They come out, they go back there in the back where them boxes are at, they put in the wire, and then they lay it in the grass and bring it over to the side over here and connect it to your house. Mm-hmm. And then there's Union Job. They come out about 2 weeks later and actually bury that cable that they've been laying in the yard for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then that's how it's done. So the yard is affected. Nothing happens serious, but they have to bury it. Somehow they got to connect it from the street where you guys are at on the cable or whatever that is. What do they call it? I forget.
Don't they connect it to your box
No,
inside?
no, where the light goes through it. What do they call that line?
Fiber.
Fiber optics. Somehow that fiber optics has to get connected to the house. And I don't know how they're doing it.
Okay.
I don't understand it.
Mary Louise Mathis says, I currently use T-Mobile's 5G wireless router, which works great in my location, Cary, North Carolina. They offer a trial period so you can try at your location before committing.
I'm not doing that either. If I do something, I want to do it permanently and be done with it. I don't like wasting my time talking to people 100 times about the same damn thing, and they're in and out, and I just don't. One time in, get it done, get out.
Yeah. Let's see.
Kind of like a whorehouse. One time, get in, get out.
Becky Forbes says, I have a friend that owns a restaurant in my town that offered Beyond Burgers. They stopped carrying it because it stunk too bad any time they put it on the grill. The restaurant is spotless. Yeah, Becky, I went to
What
a
restaurant
place.
was that?
It's where she lives, a restaurant where she lives in Montana.
What restaurant?
She didn't say the name of it.
Oh, I thought you said.
She said a friend that owns a restaurant in my town
Uh-huh.
that offered. And I said, that's where I said, some of them are good. You just got to pick the right one. It's like everything else.
I like that when my friend. Just takes me back.
Well, I've
hey,
had.
is it illegal to carry drugs in the trunk of your car? I'm asking for a friend.
I went to a restaurant that I knew had the vegan burgers. But at the time, they were out because they don't have microwaves, they don't have freezers. So that's something that's not going to last long if it's just plain. And, you know, they have to order it, and it usually comes frozen. So they didn't have them at that time. I'm afraid they're probably going to discontinue it for that reason. I'm hoping not, because it was hard to find anything nice. And they do have a lot of options, but you know, the Impossible Burger, I like the black bean, the spicy black bean burger. That's what
I've always been told
make here
that
at home.
I can't think of the name of that country club now. The only original country club here. Bill just bought it and added it in up there. What's it called?
Orange Blossom. Orange Blossom.
Back this way.
Back this way.
We've been up there and had a Patreon lunch once. Tablecloths on the table, and I said, "Well, I ain't been here since they remodeled it." Wine bottles are on the wall.
Oh.
Glenview Country Club is supposed to have one of the best, what they call Impossible Burgers here.
Well, and like I said, when Luann was there, she said it was better than the one that she had at.
I'm not helping.
Oh, I can help you, but you won't help me.
Johnny Rockets.
Johnny Rockets, yeah. They have three there, or they did have three. And I said one was an Impossible Burger, one was a black bean burger, and then there was a third one, and I don't know what it was. But I like the black bean burgers because once I start putting stuff on it, I can't taste it anyhow. You know, it could be bread dough. And like I said, once I get mustard and pickle and, you know, onions, all that stuff on it. I couldn't taste the burger no how, so didn't really matter to me. But yeah, Glenview had a good one, and I think they do offer some vegan things.
Kylie Gonzalez joined our Patreon page.
Okay.
Kylie Gonzalez. I don't know who that is, but welcome to Patreon, Kylie. I appreciate it. I think, by looking at your picture, I think you work up at Cartworks.
Oh, okay.
She looks like one of them girls I've seen out in the factory working.
Could be. And you're going up there Friday.
Yeah, that video's on Patreon now, and it's on YouTube members now. It won't come out on YouTube till next week. It won't be on Monday. I don't think I'm going to post a video on Monday anymore. It'll be on next week's YouTube channel on Tuesday. So it's fairly long video, but if you've never been to Cartworks and you got a golf cart and you're talking about customizing it in any way, I urge you to watch the video, and at the end of it is phone numbers and addresses and all that stuff. So
yeah. Gracie Bird says the condition caused by a tick bite that makes you allergic to beef, pork, and lamb is called alpha-gal syndrome.
Called what?
Alpha-gal syndrome. Thank you, Gracie. I knew it. I just couldn't think of the name.
Never heard of it.
Well, like I said, you're not a girl, so it probably never dawned on you.
How you know I'm not a girl? I can be anything I want to now. There's laws.
Yeah. Okay. Wrestler says, okay, Skip, since you're such an expert on hamburgers, why are they called hamburgers if they're not made with ham?
That's a good question. I've heard that since I was a kid. Why do they call them hamburgers when there's no ham in it? I don't know. It's a German thing.
I know, and I said we always made ham salad out of bologna.
Yeah. No, Mom made it out of ham.
Well, I always made it out of
Usually
bologna.
leftover ham from Christmas. But it seems to me that somebody told me the name hamburger came from Hamburg, Germany. Because the hamburger supposedly was invented there. Things that we call American food, truthfully, is not American food.
Well.
Like French fries. They're not from France. Seems to me, I read something about French fries was invented in Greece. There's some other stuff. I find that stuff interesting. Means nothing, I know.
Louise Ustic said the way you bicker is so cute.
Bicker.
Louise, you know, we've been doing this for so long that we forget sometimes that we're actually in front of other people. And like I said, I'm not a go along to get along kind of person. So
Tell me
you see
about
me
it.
come up for air every once in a while.
Yeah, she don't.
But I try not to do it online. So
Well, I've always told people, and they can take it anywhere they want to, we don't have a script. We don't put on an act, you know, to get more subscribers. And that's all I'll say about it.
no, we're both butt heads and we know it.
It's the way it is.
Yeah. Louise Hustic said too many passwords.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
I tell you what I tried, because it's just me. It suits me. All my important stuff, and Jose knows, that I have the same password everywhere we go. But now they're coming out with the fingerprint thing, which I really kind of like. That's simple and easy for me when I go get on something like a bank account, and it'll say password or fingerprint, man, because and I'm there.
Yeah, and it screws me out right there.
Yeah.
You know, I can't get into any of it.
No, well, it's our bank account. I just want to go in there and see. See, I transfer money from my PayPal account sometimes.
Cool.
He's talking to somebody on the CB. Did you see that little hand gesture he made?
I see.
Well, what is that? Going down the road.
That was, you know, you can tell what kind of motorcycle that was. It was nice
Buddy,
and quiet.
get over here. Stop it.
He's wandering around. He's getting,
Chasing lizards.
yeah, getting restless. He's been good.
He ain't doing good. This dog is the barkingest dog I've ever had in my life. And he won't shut up. He
Well, he's
just
not-
doesn't understand the word shut up. He just, you yell at him, he just continually
And
looks out the,
everybody will tell you the same thing, that you don't yell at him.
I'm not yelling
And he
at
doesn't
him.
know shut up.
I'm yelling from the room in there, telling him to shut up. He don't know what the word means.
Well, like I said, he doesn't know what shut up means.
Let me get up and walk out there and not say a word, just stare at him. He shuts right up.
Well, yeah. You scare him to
There's
death.
no logic in that.
You scare him to death.
I'm not scaring him.
Oh,
Or does
wow.
he look like he's scared of me?
No, he wants your cookies.
I got no more. He ate them all.
Okay.
Buddy. Come here.
Laura says, I eat vegan burgers and vegan chicken patties. Now I just have to check the sodium content of these items when I buy them. Yeah, and they're a world apart. I mean, I like the Morningstar Farms, but like I said, they've got several different brands of vegan, and the ones that has the little chicken nuggets that aren't chicken.
What are they?
Huh? They're veggie,
Oh, I'm talking about.
but they have so much bad crap in them that you're not switching one for the other. It's just, chicken's better than trying to eat those things. So you got to read your labels, see what they are. Like Laura can't, she got to cut down on the sodium now. So yeah, that kind of stuff, they switch out. It's like eating something that's non-fat. They always switch it out with something that's non-fat, but it's also extra sweet. And a lot of stuff in it that ain't supposed to be there to take over that taste. So
Listen to your doctor before you do anything.
yes.
People they seem to make this stuff up like one pill doesn't fix everybody.
Well, I don't see and I know you talk about the way I eat is terrible,
Buddy.
but I don't see as where eating cereal all day is a plus.
Because what you want.
Everybody's different.
Tell me what the negative is.
What?
You guys say
You don't have any cereal in there that isn't covered with sugar.
So?
So?
My sugar's normal, so what difference does it make?
Okay, enough said.
Anything in moderation is what I was told, and I don't eat a bowl of cereal every day.
Sometimes that's all you eat. That's bad.
Sometimes I'm just not hungry. I just eat a bowl of cereal and I'm done for the day.
Brad Shea says, with T-Mobile 5G home internet, you don't need a physical line to get internet like you do with DSL, cable, and fiber. If your home is in a weak T-Mobile 5G signal area, the internet will be spotty. Okay, so that would make sense.
That's probably why she had it up there on the mountain.
Yeah.
Because they don't even have water up there. They have to have it, I don't know, trucked in or something.
Yeah, and Becky says, Laura, there's usually more harmful ingredients in vegan burgers and vegan chicken. Some. That's why I said you got to read your labels. Because I'm picky about what ones I buy, and I read the labels. Because, yeah, some of them have worse stuff in it, and then you just eat the regular chicken or the regular beef. So, Laura wants to know how's the T-Mobile phone reception in the villages. When I rented on the historic side in 2024,
I don't know anybody here that's got T-Mobile.
I don't remember having any connection issues. The rental home I am moving into is in Pine Ridge.
Up north, I think that the T-Mobile might be okay because you're right there by Lady Lake and Fruitland Park. But down here, it ain't been that many months ago that when you got down to Finney, if you had Verizon or maybe AT&T was okay, I don't know. But if you had Verizon, you had no cell service at all.
Yeah.
Because I went there and played golf, and we all went inside the Finney Grill when it was open, it was new, and none of us had cell service.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's been taken care of. Now that they got Eastport up, they almost had to do something.
Oh, the Adventures of Buddy and Jelly. So they have 2 chemical aerations we have been doing for 2 years, and it works better. Really? Well, like I said, that's all I've known about it is, where they take the plugs out. But it seems to work here. I didn't know they had a chemical. I really don't want any more chemicals.
Yeah, that's what I said. He plugs the yard, and then he comes by the same day, and he puts down the chemical.
Well, he puts potash
It's a chemical.
after the aeration.
It's dried up. You can buy liquid fertilizer or concentrated fertilizer. It's all the same.
But they're saying they've got a chemical aeration now, so they wouldn't have to pull the plugs. I've never heard of that before.
No, I don't see how you aerate anything.
Well,
That's the whole idea of taking a plug out is to get the air down.
Yeah.
Actually, what that's all about is that's why they put on the fertilizer right after you aerate it, because now it's going to rain or I'm going to water my grass or whatever. Mixes with the fertilizer to a liquid, and then it gets in them holes, which gets it down to the root.
Well, he said that
It does seem to work.
been doing it for 2 years and it works better. So, okay.
Well, I don't know.
Who do you have? Who does your yard work?
Do it require a contract?
Yeah.
I know. I'm wise to all the tricks around here.
Oh, let's see.
See, there's my mockingbird back again this year. Sits right up there in the corner of that house every year.
Oh,
Sits
yeah.
right there. And I almost guarantee you there's a nest here somewhere.
Yeah.
Last year it was in that bush right there.
You know that,
And I found it because there was a chicken hawk in there. I seen him, his tail sticking up, and he got down in their nest and ate all the babies.
well, like I said, that cone-shaped bush that's right there at the corner of the house in the back, there's a nest in there. I don't know what kind
It
it
might
is.
be his
It
or
might
hers.
be, yeah.
You can't tell, they all look alike.
Well, I haven't messed with it, but I noticed it was there.
Is that racist? Did I say all them birds look alike?
Laura says Xfinity Wi-Fi is not the cheapest, but very reliable in my area of suburban Chicago. And I think it was pretty good here. The problem was when you had a problem, it was getting anything fixed. That was the problem I had with them.
Yeah.
And I said once I got to the Bright House, they were Johnny on the spot, and so I got them, and then they sold out to Spectrum, and like I said, sometimes we had a little problem with them, and then we went to the high speed, and we have had too many problems at all.
No.
It's usually if an equipment malfunction. It's not
See,
usually.
Look. There's the female. She just run him off. She went. She went up there and opened her mouth like he's supposed to feed her, and he just said, "Screw you," and he just took off.
Oh my gosh.
He's down here. I can speak for these animals because I can read their mind.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let's see. Oh, Mary Louise Mathis says my mobile service is not with T-Mobile. I just internet, and I stream constantly. Well, I'm glad you're not having any problems with it anyhow. But
Well, streaming TV, you don't need anything fast for that. But for some of the things that I do in there making videos, I got to have something that's reliable, and I don't want something that I go in there one day. Listen, just to do the news this week took me 3 days to cut it, edit it, upload it, download it, and all the crap you got to go through. 3 days. And that's with no interruption. And I don't need some internet coming here that it slows the speed down. It works on Monday. It only works half the time on Tuesday, because then it takes all week to do the news. See, that's why I'm really particular. What I got works, and I'm not changing it until I get some kind of a 100% guarantee from a company. And then what I might do is I'll have 2 internet services here, using theirs and comparing it. And if it doesn't work out, I can cancel it because I still got my original.
Yeah, and you will when I say so.
I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, if things are working, I don't change anything. My grandpa said that. Said, don't fix it if it ain't broke.
Oh, hey, Barbara. Barbara Ebner's with us.
Barbara who? Ebner?
Barbara Ebner.
Ebner?
Yeah. Somewhere in the sense that a little affected, but nowhere. It's a very small area, and don't aerate over their mulch bed.
Well, the thing I liked about Spectrum is when they bought Bright House, there was an area manager, I'll call him. I don't know what his actual title is. I got his card in there. He came to the house because we were a Bright House. Now we're a Spectrum. He introduced himself, some of the new services, blah, blah, blah. And because we were with Bright House, he offered to give me a free cell phone for a year.
And we explained our problems to him.
Yeah, and I told him what we did. I said, look, I'm not a Johnny Carson show, but I don't want interruptions and with buffering, and these are problems that we had. It's frustrating for the people that watch. And he was saying, okay, so I can get you high speed. He said, but I can't get you the commercial high speed, but I can get you whatever it was called, which I never even heard of it. And I don't think most people here had until he told me. I said, well, I'd like to try it. He said, I'm going to give you a 30-day free service. He said, you try that and see what you think, and then I'll come back. He came back. I said, that worked out pretty good. I said, I think I'm just going to hang on to it. I knew it was going to be a little pricey, but I didn't really care. I just liked for things to be right. And he set it up and gave me a card. He said, you got any problems? He said, I take care of this area. And I've called him 2 or 3 times. He came to the house once because I told him, he said, I'm going to have to come by. And I said, I'm here, man. And then usually, though, I can text him, and then he just texts me back what to do. And it's always been something simple, nothing big. Unplug it, plug it back in. And it seems to work.
Yeah.
But I like that service where I got a guy's card, and I can call him 24/7. He told me that. He said, you call me anytime you want. He said, if I don't answer the phone because I'm in bed at 3 o'clock in the morning, he said, leave me a message when I get up in the morning. He said, I do listen to my messages, and I will get back with you. And he does.
Yeah. And Don't know how far up the chain he's got, but he's worth every penny, guys.
All I know is I sent him a text this morning about the Wi-Fi being out. I said, is there an outage around here? And he texted me back within 5 minutes saying, not as far as I know. He said, but here, he said, if you've got a problem, call this guy, bypass all this, and go straight to that. And
I already had him on the phone.
yeah, you already had him on the phone.
Yeah. Let's see. Hey, Carol, you love this plant? This actually, we have a lot of these because every time Skip thinks they're getting too long, he cuts a piece off and puts it in water and then plants it somewhere else. And they're not good out here in the sun. They're good if you got a little bit of shade because they burn. They actually will burn up in the sun. But yeah, I love the greenery. I've not been able to find my sweet potato plants. I always love those sweet potato vines because I love the
There's one
color.
growing right over here underneath that big bush.
What?
There's one growing over here underneath that big bush.
Yeah, I know it was on one that I took out.
Well,
and
just
it started
dig it up
growing.
and put it in a pot.
Well, I am, but like that's why I left it alone. Like I said, it come out of that pot there. But yeah, it's starting to grow, and so I'm gonna take it off. But other than that, and you pretty much can't take a sweet potato and make it vine because most of your food now is irradiated, so it doesn't grow if you try it. But it's like tomato
Bet you can.
seeds.
I know what potato to look for. There's a certain thing you look for.
Well, like I said,
Being a farmer, I know what to look for.
well, okay, Mr. Know-It-All.
You know them little bumps, they call them eyes on the potato?
Yeah.
Find one potato, one, that has one little eye on it. That's the one you want to get to plant.
Okay.
And you don't plant the whole potato. You cut the eye out.
I'll get a sweet potato, and you get me some vines.
You'll
Okay?
get the wrong potato. You got to get the one that's got the one eye on it.
Well, I could do that. I just, But anyhow,
and
like I said,
before anybody asks, no, I haven't replaced any plants yet. We're still keeping an eye on. One of them I know is going to be okay. That other Robolini right there, it's got green on the stem, but I don't see any new growth yet. But
it's early yet.
Yeah, but in the last week it's been in the 80s like every day.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
Now we got another cold snap coming, so I don't know. We'll see.
Let's see. Laura says when AT&T installed fiber optics in my HOA last year, they had to dig large holes in the grass that are still there. Yeah, like I said, things progress. Used to, that's what they did I remember them coming across our yard with a telephone line when they first put them underground. Oh my God, what a mess. And they ended up, after they got done, they ended up actually messing up our, what is the sewage tank they put underground? The sewage tank they put underground.
Septic tank.
Septic tank, yeah.
They cut through 3 of our septic tank lines.
Yeah.
And covered it up, and I went up and raised hell with them.
Yeah.
There's septic tank lines right there. There's the remnants of it. Did you guys replace that, the tile? Because I had tile back in the day.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, I don't think they did. That's well, you're going to have to.
Yeah. Yeah, so I know that they used to make a really big mess, but now
This is
when
what
I hear,
I got against the right of eminent domain. You can say what you want to about it, that they use it for good things. Telephone company's not a good thing. I didn't want it, and they wanted to go through my yard, and I told them with no uncertain terms. I said, I don't want you going through my yard. I got too many trees here. You're going to tear up the roots. You're going to kill my trees. I don't want you in the yard.
Yeah.
And the guy told me right there. He says, well, he said, God damn it, buddy.
you can't have it.
He said, he said, we can go after a right of eminent domain. I said, well, you let me know when you're going to go to court. I said, I'll call Whitehead, my attorney, and I said, we'll see you there. And next thing I know, I went on the road, I come home, rubber band to my mailbox was the court order and a $25 check for my convenience or inconvenience. Yeah. Right of eminent domain.
MKM Mitch says they don't have to put a wire cable through your yard. At least in Utah, they didn't. So Xfinity always wanted to say we were over our usage, but since getting Connect Fiber, we have not had that issue.
There again, my question is, how do they connect the fiber optics to your house? To say you don't need it that's not true. If you've got it in the house, somehow, some way, it's getting in there. Well, I mean, maybe it's wireless somehow. I don't know.
Well, I know our box in the garage, I know it was already connected for cable.
No. That box in the garage is just where they run it in to get it in the house. The cable system in the house goes through the walls, up in the attic, over to the box, and down into there, and that orange wire, and it's right there. and then it's got like 4 or 5 little connector things on the end of it, so that from outside you can run that in there. It screws into that box, and that connects it to all the rooms that go into that box. That's
Could
how
they
it's
not do that with?
I don't
other
know how
cables?
fiber
Yeah.
optics is. That's what I'm
Okay.
wondering. How do they get
Oh,
it
okay.
connected to the house? I mean, I might consider it. I know there's a way because everybody's got it, but I just, from my own mind, how do they get it in the house?
Okay. Becky Forbes said it was the Beyond Burger. Her restaurant is called the Garden of Eat and located in Cut Bank, Montana.
They call it Beyond Burger?
Beyond Burger, yes. And I agree with it. It stinks. That's why I said read your labels. And I said try this stuff out before you buy a lot of it, because sometimes it's, like I said, I like the Morningstar Farms, but you know, that might not be your cup of tea. But
Cup of tea?
yeah.
Man, you guys are all over the place. Beyond Burgers.
Well, I said,
Cup of
that
tea.
was the other one that they offered, I think, at Johnny Rockets, was the Impossible Burger, the Black Bean Burger, and the Beyond Burger, because they offered 3. And but yeah,
After which you realize none of them are burgers.
No,
None of them.
no.
None of them.
Okay, your burger ain't ham either.
It's German. Hamburg,
Yeah.
Germany.
Okay. So you could do vegetables and call it a burger.
No. That's what confuses young people.
Missy Mo says hello from stormy Michigan last night. Yeah, I heard you guys got some pretty nasty weather up there.
Snow?
No, tornadoes.
I think Midwest has been getting them here and there.
Well, they got some really warm weather, and then, you know, when the cold air is coming in, then, you know, it stirs up all those tornadoes.
You ought to see our tornadoes. They call them hurricanes.
But we have tornadoes.
Yeah.
I said the
Usually-
hurricanes.
well, most of them are a spin-off from the hurricane.
Right. And
What
Laura
was it-
says
what
she
was
likes.
it on that last big hurricane we had here? They put an announcement. I was shocked that there was like something like 30-some spin-off tornadoes from that one hurricane in the state of Florida. That's a lot when you think about it.
Oh yeah. And Laura likes the spicy black bean burger. That's the one I like. More than anything, I like those. But like I said, even at that, and I said, if I put enough stuff on it, I couldn't tell what it was anyhow. And the name of this plant, you know, I can't think of the name of it, but I know they put it in, they put it in funeral bouquets. Because they're just so pretty. You know, they've got so many colors.
That is a philodendron.
A philodendron? That's a philodendron? Really? But they grow, I mean, they're so easy to grow. Like I said, Skip cuts a piece off, puts it in a glass of water until it gets roots. And once the roots come out, well, you can put it in your dirt, and it, like I said, it just grows. Like I said, you got to be careful with the being in the sun, because like I said, the sun will do a number on it. And like I said, it gets sunburnt. But as long as it's got some kind of shade, well, it's pretty good. And it's just so pretty. It's got so many different colors in it. But that's why I like the sweet potato vine, because it's got that really bright green. It makes it such a pretty pot. And I got a million pots here to get planted yet. And I'm kind of hanging out waiting for the weather to get a little bit more temperate, because it was odd for it to go from cold to 90, you know, just in a week's time. So some of the plants, plus we're in a drought, so some of the plants are not doing well. Some of the new ones I put in are not doing well just because of the heat. So I'm kind of taking my time about putting stuff in, but we'll have a nice background here before long. Then it'll skip something else to bitch about.
What am I bitching about now?
Plants.
I don't mind them. I just don't want too many. I don't live in a forest.
Yeah. Mary Louise Matheson, my experience with T-Mobile has been completely online. I did everything myself. Installation was a snap. Well, cool. And JWT and 8 says the impossibly overdone burger. That might be it. Like I said, that's not.
Is that actually the name of a burger?
No, this is the Impossible Burger, but like I said, you know, it's not. I don't like them in particular. I like the spicy black bean, and I will eat an Impossible Burger, but I always read the ingredients, because, you know, Everybody's different.
Beef.
Just like
That's the
Laura.
ingredient, beef.
Well, just like Laura says, some of them are high in sodium. They make up for the taste by adding
Well,
stuff.
that's because it's going to be at a supermarket for 3 days, and so it's just like red. If you guys know anything about meat, well, I don't want to get gross about it, but meat is not red. It just looks that way, and for packaging reasons.
That's Betty's Betty. um,
That guy right there that we wave at all the time, you guys don't know him, but he's a worldwide hunter, big time hunter, big game hunter.
I don't think you know who that is.
Yeah, I think I do. I played golf with him.
Oh,
If that's the
okay.
same guy I'm thinking of, unless he just looks a lot like the other guy. He showed us pictures at Men's Beer Day where he'd been to Africa and I don't know, antelopes and stuff. He didn't know elephant, I don't think, or nothing like that. Actually, I think they're all protected now. But he antelopes and fishing. He did a lot of fishing in different areas in the world. I don't even know where, but I know he's traveled a lot. He's a sports guy. But you don't even want to know about my deer hunting seasons, how I do. I get all dressed up, and they were showing me with a poncho, because it's cold up there in them mountains. Where we went to Shingle House, Pennsylvania, and we also went to College, Pennsylvania. We had relatives that lived there, and they all lived on the side of a mountain. So they're saying, I said, man, what are you doing? It's cold up there and wind blowing in the mountain, because down here is one way, but you get up on top of the mountain where you got to go, it's another. And they're saying, well, you wear a poncho and then you take some sterno heat. So what the hell is sterno heat? It's just a little can of gooey stuff, and you light it. And anyway, they're telling me how to take this poncho, and you get the snow, and from the inside of the poncho, you know what a poncho is, right? With that little hood. They sell them at Disney World, and then you make like a little tent, and you're the pole. And you start like this in there, and then you slide the lid halfway over to control the amount of heat. And then, of course, the heat comes up and comes up around your neck, and it keeps you warm. But there's something about that heat that comes up. At 5 o'clock in the morning, it's dark, the sun's starting to come up, and my gun is right here leaning on a tree, and I'm... That's my deer hunting season.
Yeah, he was a poor hunter. 64 Buffer says the best veggie burgers are the ones who don't try to be meat. White beans, corn, herbs, and spices can make a beautiful burger, but for some reason, everybody tries to make it seem more like meat. Yes, that's true. And I said, the one place I said that I didn't like was, and I tell you, everybody loves them. It's Five Guys. Yeah, everybody loves Five Guys, but I was very,
I don't love Five Guys.
and well, like but like I said, a lot of people do, and their burgers might be the best. But like I said, when I got the what I thought was a veggie burger, it was just chopped up vegetables that they put on the grill, and then they put it on a bun. It was impossible to eat.
Well, then get a bag of French fries.
No, I just don't eat there.
Well, I don't either because I don't care for it. I don't mind the bag thing, but their French fries are just, as far as I'm concerned, are disgusting.
And a lot of people like that because they're greasy. But
The fries,
yeah,
I don't know if the fries are greasy or not. Maybe they are. I don't know. It's been so long since I've been to a Five Guys, but the one they have at Brownwood, I did go there once, and it's like every other Five Guys. I just didn't care for it all that much.
well, and but yeah,
You know, the problem is, I'm used to really good food. And over the years, they've turned food in a lot of places to cheap crap because they're trying to get the most out of the buck. And so a hamburger, for what I remember and what it used to be, and they're patting it out and putting it in there. That's what it used to be. Now it's turned into processed stuff, food coloring, chemicals that I don't even know what it is. And then you're eating this thing and you get stuff and you go, what the hell's that?
Yeah.
Gristle.
Yeah, at 64 Buffer, I've done the chickpea thing. If you grind the chickpeas and put in the herbs and spices, it makes a pretty good burger. Somewhere in the Sun says brisket burger are wonderful. Never had one.
Never heard of that either. I know what brisket is because Buc-ee's
Oh yeah.
has their famous brisket sandwiches.
Yeah.
A brisket burger. I'd probably try it. I've never had one, I don't think.
When Bucky's, and he said I never ate the brisket, but I did eat the pulled pork at one time. And
I like the pulled pork.
Yeah, I like the pulled pork. Yeah. I don't eat them anymore, but I did. But every once in a while, I get a craving for something. And I said, and I'll eat it. It doesn't matter.
That's what she said.
Well. But I mean, you know, it's one of those things that I don't think you have to be 24 hours, 7 days a week.
What?
Vegan or vegetarian. Some people want to be, that's fine. But, you know, to me, yeah, I eat mostly vegetables. But if I want a hot dog, I'm going to eat one.
Well, isn't that funny how everything is bad, 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 but I still eat my hot dogs. I like my hot dogs. You know what a hot dog is? What's in a hot dog?
I do.
Do you really?
I do.
Have you ever been to a slaughterhouse?
I have.
You know hot dog and bologna
You
is
forget
the same
I was on
thing?
the same farm you were.
Oh, but you didn't take them in the market. I did.
Wow. I know what all that stuff is. If you thought it was so awful, you wouldn't be eating steak either.
I never said anything was awful. I eat that stuff all the time, always have. You're the one that keeps telling me that it's awful and I shouldn't be eating it.
Well, no, I don't say that. But
What do you mean you don't?
anything to excess is bad for you. I don't care what it is.
That's funny. When I told you I ate a bowl of cereal a while ago, you told me how bad that was. And I said, anything that's excessive, I only have like one bowl a week.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, oh, but there's too much sugar on it.
One bowl a week.
One bowl a week.
One bowl a week. Okay.
That's all I have. If that. If that.
Oh.
Half the time when you're at the grocery store, because you're just going to run up there for a minute to get some ice cream, it's at 10 o'clock, I'll be back in a little bit, and here it is 5 o'clock, and I'm thinking, good Lord, that ice cream sure took a long time to get back here.
You could go with me, you know.
I didn't want to go.
I know.
I ain't going.
Well, and I try to do as many things at one time as I can.
You want me to get the ice cream next time?
I don't care.
I will call them and have it brought to the house by Uber.
Oh, my God. And Gina Bina said, we love you guys because you don't have a script. Yeah, we don't. You know, we should. I know, you know, we should do bullet points, you know, this, and this, and we don't. But like I said, because we really, you know, we're sitting here on the
I've thought
porch.
about it a time or two, you know, having like bullet points, you know, when we go out there, let's talk about this, and have the main, every week have a main subject. You know, this week's Porch Settin is going to be about new homes. Are they setting a long time? Are they not setting a long? Because everybody's got an opinion. Everybody has an opinion. Guess what? I have a butthole too. You know.
Okay.
I watched YouTube a while ago, and right away something popped up and about the Villages homes. The crash is on.
Oh, I seen that.
Did you see it?
I did.
Good
I
God.
Thought,
and the name of the channel has nobody's name on it, has nobody's picture on it. You don't know who it is. It was called something like Holiday Houses or some stupid name like that. And then it's a voiceover. You don't see nobody talking. It said, Villages. If you bought here about 4 years ago, you might get prepared. You might think about selling now if you can get your money out of it without taking too big of a loss. It goes on and on. And I'm watching this going, where do these people come from? That's called clickbait.
yeah. Oh, Louise Hustick said, my husband and I bicker too. I am always right. I like your channel. Well, everybody knows me. Yeah, I can't say I'm always right.
Oh, God, yes, she does. And when she doesn't want to argue about it anymore, here's the key word. Anyway,
yeah. Becky says, I won't do a fingerprint on anything because if I kick over, my daughter can't get into anything. That's the problem I have. And you know, most of his stuff I don't care about. But there are certain things that, like I said, if you've got it on fingerprint, if anything happens to him, I'm screwed. You know, and, you know, that's why I think it's a good idea.
well, that's not necessarily true. Most of the things like the bank account, I use my fingerprint. But I have an option. It says password, fingerprint. I always hit the fingerprint. It's quick and easy. But I have a password. You know what all my passwords are.
I do.
Or,
Yeah.
or passcode, something like that.
Yeah. Well, are all of them like that, though?
Well, when Jose was here and we were setting up the DJI mics with the new iPad, that iPad there, and you had to set it up with passwords and all this. I am so sick of it. And then he looked at it, and I told him what my password was to get in it. So he did. And then I looked at him, I says, now you know my bank account password. You know every password I've got. It's all the same thing. So when he came over here last time and we were out there talking about coffee and stuff, he went to turn that on. I said, turn it on so I'll record this. I don't know if I'll use any of it, but I like to record stuff in case I want to use it. And he went over there and he says, I know the password. You don't have to tell me. He opens it up for me.
Jose's such a good egg. Oh, I seen him yesterday. He was at the Lady Lake Farmers Market, and they were supposedly had their strawberry festival, but the least thing in there was strawberries, truthfully. But they had all the tents and everything. They had live music. They had a live band out there too, and it got pretty warm. And he had his.
It got close to 90, I think, yesterday, didn't it?
I think so. And he had his neighbor out there helping him, bless his heart. So, but they were doing good. They had a lot of business.
I intended to go up there. I'll tell you what, Tuesday, he goes, that's on Tuesdays. Tuesdays for me is like almost out. I mean, I edit like all night Monday, and then I edit like all day Tuesday. I mean, I went in there yesterday when I got out of bed early. I went in there like at 9:30, something like that, 8:30, because Buddy was barking. I couldn't sleep. And I didn't leave until 3 o'clock in the morning. It was late.
I have no idea.
Well, that's why I sleep over there, because I know if I go in our bedroom that late, it wakes him up, and then he wants to play.
Yeah. Laura says ground or minced hamburger beef steak was imported from Hamburg, Germany in the 1800s.
Yeah, there you
that
go.
morphed into hamburger.
There you go.
Okay.
You act like I don't know anything. I know everything. I know a lot of nothing, but I know everything about everything.
Yeah, a little bit. Buddy and my youngest dog would be great friends, Becky says.
Who?
Buddy and her dog would be great friends.
I
You never know. You know, I mean.
Buddy likes everybody, I'll say that for him.
Well, but he has a thing with this dog next door, and it's a sweet dog. Never hear it, you know, and it lays there while they're working. It lays there on a blanket. You never see it get up and run around or anything.
He just probably wants to go over and play.
Well, he doesn't want to get up there. He doesn't want anything to do with it, and that's kind of surprising.
I bet that nest is in that tree, because, see, he's been hanging around up there for a while.
Okay.
I bet that nest is, because that's a good tree. If I was a bird, I'd have a nest in that tree. Yeah, because it's full of thorns.
Yeah.
So if a snake tries to get up there and get them babies or the eggs, it can't get through them thorns.
Wrestler says, yep, Skip never needs a script. He is a retired trucker and farmer whose mouth runs like a duck's arse.
That's true. I'll admit it.
Yeah, that's true. Becky says, that's why he's fun. Yeah, somebody told me that I was at the ladies' lunch and somebody says, oh, your husband is so fun, so fun. And I said, yeah, he's just a barrel of laughs. And I looked at her like, you know, like she had two heads. But, yeah. Skip Richard said, if I think about it, I will bring my Starlink down when we're coming in May and June so you can see it.
I know what they are. I've got some RV friends. I know there's different. You get residential. You can get mobile. Now they got the mini. And I don't know what the difference is spec-wise. So my mind would say I should get the mobile, because I could use it here, I think. And I could also throw it in the camper when I take off if I wanted to. That'd be great. But also Dish Network has the same offering. But it's all, to me, it's all about, you know, it's all about the numbers, you know, up speeds, down speeds, and things like that, and how do I get it in the house, and you know, we're restricted here on how we can do things.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Don't bring it, because I don't want to go through all that stuff of digging it out, setting it up in the house, hook it up, turn it. I don't want to go through all that. Thanks for offering, but I just don't want to go through all that.
Laura says, I put low sodium Greek yogurt on baked potatoes for the past couple of weeks. It's pretty good. Baked potatoes and plain Greek yogurt are low in sodium.
Baked potatoes has a lot of starch.
Yeah, and nice.
And who could eat a baked potato without a pound of butter? Who? And salt.
And salt. She's putting yogurt on it, and I know you know I put sour cream on mine, but yeah, I know you wouldn't put yogurt on a potato if it killed you.
You know what yogurt actually is? You ought to read it sometime how they make yogurt. It's like cheese. It's rotten. It's rotten stuff.
Yeah. That's the way the sour cream is. It's the way sour cream is. It's sour.
I don't care about the taste. I'm talking about how it's made. It's rotten stuff.
Yeah.
Cheese
I've been seeing this stuff on my phone. It comes up every once in a while because, you know, sometimes I'm looking for vegan recipes. And it comes up, and they're showing this thing with cottage cheese and a couple tablespoons of peanut butter, and then honey and an egg.
Wait a minute.
And then
what is
you
this?
bake it.
What are we making?
It makes like a cake of some kind. It's supposed to be healthy for you.
Oh, you're making a cake.
Yeah, but like I said, I've never, or you could add in chocolate to make it a chocolate cake.
Well, you can do that and then put a pound of icing on it. I'd eat it.
Yeah, I know. I know, that's what I said.
Put some nuts in it.
My zucchini bread it's very healthy, but like by the time I get the
It
icing
ain't healthy
on
at all.
I know. But
She's got this like a glazed donut stuff in a pan. She makes this zucchini bread, and she puts nuts in it because that's what I want in it. And then she's pouring it on top of it. And I'm looking at that going, yeah, well, there goes that health food.
yeah, I pour the icing on. And it's supposed to be, have you seen the commercials where they just squiggle the icing on? Yeah, I don't do that. Okay, let's see. Jerry said they're erecting a new cell tower at the new country club they were building south of Eastport. Well, yeah, after they go so far, they need another tower. I mean, that signal only goes so far. And I remember the people having problems down in Finney.
Everybody was at one time.
Yeah.
Nobody had cell service down there. It was really, really bad. And I couldn't believe that they finally did put out a report. I forget when they did it, saying that the tower was approved. I don't know who, Wildwood commissions. Those guys sit on their own ass. They don't even know how to get anything done that amounts to anything. It's almost like an afterthought with them people.
Yeah.
But anyway, they finally did get a tower down there, and I think that took care of that problem. But then they went on to Eastport, and you know that they got plans to go beyond that. I mean, if you don't think so, next time you see one of the YouTubers down there post a video of Eastport, what's going on, I don't watch those for what you watch them for. You're watching for entertainment value, and if you're considering buying down there, you want to see what's going on and all that kind of stuff. I look in the background. And there's somebody put a YouTube video up Eastport yesterday or the day before yesterday. I think it was a drone footage. And what I'm looking at is, it looked like desert land as far as you can see. And that is an area that they're preparing for homes. Thousands of more homes. And that's what's going on down there. So they're going to need more towers and possibly more than that. I know that they own land. Exactly where it is, I don't know, but I know they own land because I had to report years ago from Bushnell that they bought land that actually butts up to Bushnell's city limit property or something. Yeah. So the day's coming, literally, I think, we'll be able to take our golf cart here and drive to Bushnell.
Yeah, and Bushnell is our county seat. When you have to do jury duty, that's where you have to go to, is Bushnell. Like anybody ever heard of Bushnell? but yeah, that's.
We're starting. I don't report it much, but almost every week now there's a report about Bushnell. Mm-hmm. I just don't tell you about it because right now it don't really affect us. But Bushnell has a lot of problems there with immigrants causing problems, illegal immigrants. They nab them every week. They have problems. They're old Florida people that live down there. And so they have a different way of looking at things and doing things that they've probably done their whole life. But now because of the villages, and this is how they're looking at it, we are forcing their police officers to do things that they've never done before, enforce the law on certain things. It was one of them areas to where back in the day, a cop would pull Joey over because the cop knows Joey's dad. And Joey had been drinking a little bit, and he would make Joey wait. I'm calling your dad to come and get you. Yeah. That's the way it was. And I can relate to that because when I was younger in Indiana, that's kind of the way it was. And the last thing I wanted the cop to do is call my dad. Good Lord, don't call Dad. Yeah. He'll beat my ass. Well, young man, maybe you'll think next time, And sometimes I think maybe we need to go back to that. I don't know. But anyway, now we're clashing with Bushnell. A year ago, you guys started hearing rumors about Panasovsky for the first time. And I think we're beyond Panasovsky now, and we're past all that.
Yeah.
By the way, Panasovsky.
Lake Panasovsky, yeah.
The restaurant. The one I like.
Joe's, Catfish Johnny's. Catfish Johnny's.
Catfish Johnny's. If you guys are ever running around there and put it in your GPS, Catfish Johnny's, go there for lunch. Pretty good place.
Yeah, they got pretty good fish. Yeah. Let's see. Denise said, I noticed you had a knee replacement. I just found out I'm having one on April 9th. How long did it take you for to walk without pain? Well, Denise, I didn't have a knee replacement. I actually fell and broke pieces off my kneecap. And I had 2 or 3 breaks on my ankle at the same time.
And you tore a muscle loose.
Yeah, and then
She couldn't pick her leg up. The doctor asked her, he said, just sit in a chair like this. He said, raise your leg up. And she couldn't raise it off the ground. That's how he knew she had tore a muscle.
Yeah. But it took, and I laughed at him when he said it was going to be 4 months before I could even try walking on it. I laughed at him because, you know, I'm a big walker anyhow. But he was right. It was exactly 4 months. And I said, but I didn't have a knee replacement. And I said, this was just surgery on my ankle and to repair the knee and the muscle, and that's what I had done. Most of the people I know around here that's had knee replacement or hip replacement, they're up and going in no time. Like I was hindered because of the ankle being broken several places. I couldn't put my foot down, where normally they want you to get out and move as soon as you can. But like I said, I couldn't put my foot down, so that's why it took me so long. But normally around here, you know, within a couple of weeks, people are moving. You know, they're out walking the dog. They're doing it slow, or using a walker, but it usually doesn't take long at all. And most people that I've heard of, once they have the surgery, they don't have a lot of pain. You know, once the superficial stuff.
I've heard that about the hip replacements. I don't know about knee replacement.
Yeah, it's about the same. You know, that it seems like people don't have any problems at all, and they're back at it in no time.
Does Medicare pay for that?
Some of them, yeah. And I said, the thing is getting a good doctor.
That's $100,000 surgeries.
Well, they do. And I said, they do have some good doctors for that kind of thing, because there's so many of us here that has stuff done. So they've got some good doctors that does that kind of thing. But make sure you do your
Well,
homework.
there for a long time, the people that I had met on the golf course that had knee replacements told me, almost every one of them told me they went to Orlando. Some doctor down there that's highly recommended.
Yeah, well, and I said, since I've had mine done, the place where I had mine done, they opened an office in Brownwood. And I don't know if the same doctor's there or not, but they opened the place in Brownwood, and then there's another one come from Orlando, and he opened a practice here, but he's only here like on Mondays and Fridays. But do your homework, make sure you get a good doctor. There's 1,000 people here to ask, because a lot of us have that done.
Yeah, I can't recommend that higher. Talk to your neighbors.
Yeah.
Find out who they used. Most people here will be honest with you. I don't know if they're as honest as I am. Sometimes I think I'm too honest. But if they got a doctor that they didn't like, I'm sure they're going to tell you, if you get a knee replacement, you don't want to go to the guy I went to. You know, I'm sure they'd tell you that.
Oh, and I had a guy that was not the best personable person in the world, but he knew his stuff, and that made a difference right there.
I kind of liked him. He was short and sweet.
Yeah.
When he so sweet, he said, raise your leg up. Well, he said, you got a torn muscle, we got to operate on it. And he said, we're going to get this out. He don't want to bang it up right now, but he said, I'm going to make an appointment. You're going to go to Ocala. You're going to go to the hospital. He's telling her what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Personally, I like that.
Yeah, but not the best bedside manner.
What she likes is,
yeah.
Well, I bet that's really painful, and I really hate to tell you, but I think we're going to have to do a little surgery. It'll be very mild. It won't hurt a bit. I'll take care of you. That's what she likes.
It's
I don't
called
care for
empathy,
that.
and if the doctor has that, it's a plus.
I want the doctor like the mechanic. I don't care how rough you are. I just want to know that you know what you're doing.
Well,
That's all I want.
That's why I stayed with this guy, because he did know what he was doing. He, like I said, I don't know if he moved down to the Brownwood office, the rest of them or not, but because it was the Orthopedic Institute, and they're over on 441.
Isn't that where Frank goes down there for his therapy?
No, I think he goes on 44 somewhere.
Yeah, the shopping plaza there across from the hotel.
Oh.
There's a Flipper's Pizza in there too.
Yeah, and I went to physical
You
therapy
went
there.
there. I think that's where Frank goes.
Well, I went for physical therapy. I didn't think he was going there. I thought he was going to somewhere on 44. There's a
I got to
place.
call later too and find out how he's doing.
But yeah, you know, I fortunately I didn't have to have the replacement. Like I said, they just patched mine up, and which that's good, because go through the airport And I have to give them all kinds of cards now for the other pieces that I got. So good thing I didn't have to tell them about that. So, but yeah, it doesn't. I said, people don't seem to have a hard time with it once they get it done. And I said, if you got a good doctor, they say they're so glad not to have the pain because before the surgery you have a lot of pain. So,
It's a lot of pain. Trust me on that. For me, not for her. It was a miserable 4 months.
yeah, yeah, Louise, that's right. Skip is always right. Yeah, you see me laughing.
I had to go grocery shopping.
Oh, that's terrible, isn't it? Oh my gosh.
These people.
If you knew how
You got
spoiled you
Buddy?
really
You got
were.
Buddy? You got his leash?
I got him.
Because she got the dog out.
Yeah. And I said, if you knew how spoiled you really was.
Oh,
I'm telling you, half the
there was
men around
people in
here
the
would,
store that
yeah.
was eyeballing me because I was videoing things. And I know it's weird. People that don't know what's going on in the middle of the night and there ain't nobody in the store but me and the guys restocking shelves. And I had my GoPro fastened to the front of the cart and it was kind of pointed up at me and I'm just going through there talking. Saying, why do they do this? Why is the cheese over here, but then they got cheese over there? Why do they put cheese in 2 different places? I don't understand the theory here, what's going on. and these guys are kind of looking over their shoulder. And I saw them out of the side of my eye. I saw them looking, but I didn't pay no attention to it. And then pretty soon a guy walks up to me. I bet they were in the back room doing this to see who's going to go talk to that guy, And he came out there and he says, "Hey, how you doing, sir?" And I said, "I'm doing great. How are you?" He said, "I'm doing pretty good. Is there anything I can help you with?" I said, "No." I said, "I'm just kind of looking around at some things." I said, "One of the questions I got though," I said, "I don't shop much." I said, "Why have they got cheese over here wherever I was at? I think I was in the wine department or something. And there's also cheese over there where the milk's at." I said, "Why wouldn't they put all the cheese in one spot?" He goes, "Well," he said, "this here is a specialty cheese." And he said, "That over there is just kind of regular cheese." I said, "Well, it just seems to me that, when I'm looking at this and I see 6 slices of cheese for $7. I said, I know my wife, she ain't paying $6 or $7 for 6 slices of cheese. He goes, "Well, she probably buys her cheese over there." Once again, why is there 2 separate? It didn't make no sense to me. You can have the cheese all over there and just have, this is the premier cheese, this is regular cheese. And then what was he looking for? Toothpaste of some kind once. Yeah. She's in a wheelchair. I made her go with me that day because I was causing too much of an attraction. And she was with me. And I said, I want to get something, some kind of toothpaste or something. Or
I told you what kind to get, and you couldn't find it.
We was at the pharmacy because you told me. So in the pharmacy, there's a shelf there. So I went over to the pharmacy area, and I found this whole aisle of toothpaste. I didn't know they made that much toothpaste. And I'm looking all over for it, and it's just not there. I told her, I said, "Are you sure you get it here?" I said, "Because I don't see it." Well, about that time, the pharmacy guy comes out, because Sue says, "Well, I thought it was right over here, blah, blah, blah." He comes out, "What are you looking for?" I said, "We're looking for blah, blah, toothpaste." "Oh," he said, "that's down there by the frozen turkeys." Once again, why are you putting toothpaste down by the frozen turkeys when this is a toothpaste aisle?
Yeah, their marketing campaign is a little odd to me too, but I get used to where everything is. And that's where they touted our new Walmart opened. And they were talking about the Walmart of the future. So I went over there the other day to get something. I don't remember what it was that they didn't have at the store. And so I thought, well, maybe they have it here. And I was down that direction. So I went in there. First of all, their plant section, their flowers and what have you, was kind of pitiful. It really was. They'd sold out a lot, but there really wasn't much there. And I said, it's kind of like an alleyway into the back door is all it is. So, not a big deal. You get inside and everything's in areas, the ladies section and the men's section is just little areas. Looked like any other Walmart, only they had stuff in a different area.
You been to the new Walmart store?
I did. I ran in there to get that cream the other day.
What cream?
For coffee.
Coffee cream. Oh, I thought you were talking about
you can't find that everywhere.
I thought you were talking about moisturizing cream.
No. But anyhow, I don't know what they said about, don't know why they considered a Walmart of the future, because I thought maybe they did something made it self-checkout or what have you.
Did you have to bag your own groceries?
No,
Did you have to
every
do your own
cash
checkout?
register was full. There was people at every one of them.
Then what makes it Walmart of the future?
I don't know.
Is it got more stuff in there?
I don't think so. It's just, it is big. The layout was a little bit different, but not much. And I'm not sure I like the layout. It was kind of hard to maneuver your cart in there.
Did they actually have some American-made products? That'd be the Walmart of the future.
I just went to buy cream, so I didn't peruse the whole store, but yeah, and they made a big deal about it, and they had some dignitaries there and the whole thing, but I didn't see it. So
Dignitaries? I wasn't there.
well, Nancy Lopez was there,
I did see that.
and
I always
Anthony
liked Nancy Lopez because she was always a low-key woman's rights thing in sports back in the day. If you guys are young enough, don't remember that. Her and Billie Jean King, all of them. Billie Jean was more in your nose, in your face kind of person.
Betty.
She's the one that did the male-female match with Riggs.
Bobby
Riggs.
Yeah.
And I watched that because I just thought that was just funny. I figured it was all put on anyway, kind of like pro wrestling. But yeah, I always kind of liked her, and then on the men's side, I always liked Arnold Palmer. He just seemed like the guy that lived next door, and I'd like to have him as a neighbor.
Yeah, well, Nancy had a house here for a long time. I don't think she does anymore.
I don't know if she's still got that up there or not.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't think she does, but she can have as many as she wants, actually.
Buddy, stop it.
Buddy, look at you.
Stop it. Quit being a butthead.
Yeah, and see, I don't get it.
Come here.
I said, that's a sweet little dog.
Buddy's not sweet.
Yeah.
He's like a 2-year-old spoiled brat.
Okay, Denise said that she highly recommends T-Mobile, affordable and the best internet she's ever had. So, let's see. I'm
nothing
losing my
over
place
there.
here.
No. Pet your belly, pet your belly, pet your belly, pet your belly. You want to get down?
Okay. Okay. Laura Lampy says she likes the pea. I don't know what that is.
Likes to pee.
Yeah. I don't get it.
I
Says
pee once
like
in
the
a
pea.
while.
Let's see. Oh, okay. Oh, and Becky's having some Greek yogurt right now. Becky's having some Greek yogurt right now.
Greek surgery.
Greek yogurt.
Oh. Funny things you hear when you don't wear your hearing aids.
Yeah. And Denise said the lawn's greened up quick. Seemed like last week everything was still brown. Just today I noticed how green everything is. It did.
Yeah, winters don't last long.
Yeah, and our lawn guy mowed this morning, and then the other guy come in and did the plugs and everything. But I said, you can tell the difference in a week's time. I said, well, we had a week of 80-degree weather. Everything started greening up. We got a lot of this stuff that has to be cut off. But everybody says the same thing. Don't get in a hurry. As long as there's some green in the center, I think you're okay.
I'm waiting for that sign of a new growth coming through the center. Once I see that, then I'm going to cut all the dead stuff off.
And Barbara wants to know how are Karen and Kevin. Hope they sold that house. I haven't talked to them in a while, but I think they're doing fine. And I haven't heard anything from them about the house. So I
haven't heard anything either. I don't even think he's been on Discord for a while.
They pretty much stay busy, and she's working down at Eastport. She's working at
Olympic something or other.
Yeah, the Olympic Rec Center where they have the climbing wall and everything. She's working down there, so they're staying pretty busy. So they probably haven't got time to sit here and
he
draw.
probably plays pickleball every morning. I know he plays pickleball every morning. Then he goes to a square every night. They got 2 or 3 bands they like to follow, and so wherever they're playing, they go to them every night there. So they're busy. I don't see them a lot. Plus, in between all that, they still got grocery shopping to do and stuff.
Okay. Austin Sullivan says fiber internet runs to your home through a dedicated fiber cable that connects to an optical network terminal, which covers the signal for your router. a technician
So
really
they have to bury it in your yard.
typically installs the line.
See, that's I'm trying to stay away from
Yeah.
that. I don't want my yard dug up anymore. I got watering systems here, and I don't want to mess with it.
Okay. And Becky Forbes says, beer time. Oh, did you see that? Yeah, you went and got him a beer.
Who did?
You did.
So?
Nothing.
In moderation.
She just said beer time.
In moderation.
Okay. I don't care.
Nothing like having a good lager beer and a black bean burger sandwich.
Don't knock it till you tried it.
I'm never going to try it.
That's what I mean. You put things down and you've never tried
I don't like
them.
black beans. I don't even like it in chili.
Well, there, like I said, there's two other different ones. There's the Impossible Burger and the Beyond Burger.
I can't tell the restaurant what to use. I don't know.
Well, I know I used to use the crumbles.
What?
And I used to use the crumbles in chili and vegetable soup. You didn't mind those.
Black beans, the skin of a black bean is too thick. It's too hard. It should not be that hard to chew something out of a soup.
But I like I said, I used to use the crumbles, what they call the crumbles, and I think it was Morningstar Farms, but I don't think it wasn't a black bean burger. It was like the Impossible Burger or whatever. But I used that as a substitute in some of my soups, and you didn't seem to mind. You said, "Huh, this isn't bad at all."
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh my God.
I just eat it.
Okay. And Medicare Guru says, Skip, Smokey the Bear says, only you can prevent forest fires. Keep those plants to a minimum.
Hey, I have nothing to do with these plants at all.
No.
The only plants that you see around the house here, these plants were here when we bought the house, and I kept them. A lot of them, not all of them. There used to be a whole bunch of plants right here. This was a big, bushy hedge kind of thing. That's over there. I know you can't see over there, but I didn't like them. I try to make the plants minimal if I can. I just thought having a little porch out here with that was a better option for me. And so we just make use of it. All these plants you see here, we were here. Minus one, I pulled that one out of the ground and got rid of it. Sue's always wanting to tear them all out. I'm not that way. I don't want to tear them out. They were fine.
I never wanted to take them out.
Yeah, you said they're hard to keep trimmed. And the ones on the side over here are what they call boxwood. I don't mind boxwood maybe in a certain area, but next to the house, after they're a few years old, they turn to shit. You can't trim them right. They die. Half of the bush will be brown, half of the bush will be... So when last time Pedro Andre Garcias was here, what's his name?
What?
The tree trimmer guy?
Chano.
Chano. When Chano was here, I took him over there and I said, see these bushes? I says, next time you're here, bring the covering, what do you call that, ground cover that keeps the weeds out or helps keep the weeds out. And I said, I want you to dig all these bushes out and I'm gonna have mulch put in. He said, you want to get the mulch? You want me to bring the mulch? I said, I'll make Sue do it. She goes to town every day anyway. She'll just pick it up. That's what she did. And he used it all but 3 bags. And I already know where 2 of them bags should go. Maybe all 3 of them should go in the backyard around that plant back there where all the mulch is kind of like gone, really. And,
Yes.
and the mulch disappears because when they trim the hedges, nobody rakes anything, really. They do kind of, but not really. They go around your bushes and everything with a blower, and they blow all the leaves and branches and things out into the grass. And they rake it onto a
Tarp.
Huh?
A tarp.
A tarp. And then they drag the tarp to the trailer, they all pick it up, throw it on the trailer, and that's how they get rid of it. So over a period of time, part of the mulch, because we use wood mulch, and it gets blowed out on the tarp, so a little bit of the time you lose it. And back there, I haven't replaced that mulch in 10 years. So we need to put some, I'm thinking those 3 bags there, I'll get rid of them right back there.
Oh, and everybody says you need some WD-40 on that chair.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, it's a squeaking.
So why don't you get that done?
I'll take care of it.
Call the man.
Restomania says, Becky, that's not Skip's chair, it's his knees.
Not my knee. My knees ain't been replaced.
No, his knees are good. It's the rest of him ain't worth a shit.
You ain't got to worry about me. I'm 100% man, and I am man ready.
Oh, well, and Becky says her grandpa used to put WD-40 on his knees and swore it helped.
I worked with a guy that had an elbow thing something with his elbow. It hurt him all the time or something. And I actually saw him in a break room one time doing. They had a can of WD-40. He's spraying his arm and he's kind of rubbing it, and you can smell it, you know. And I'm sitting there doing my logbook, and I'm looking and it says, "What are you doing?" He said, "I put WD on my arm." He said, "Believe it or not," he said, "I know people scoff at it." He said, "But WD on my elbow makes it feel so much better." Got me.
Yeah, I know. Oh, and Medicare Guru was talking about Jose. Pancho is Coffee Jose, best buddy from Puerto Rico.
You know, I don't know a lot of Puerto Ricans, but I will say of the few Puerto Ricans that I've met here, some of them have maintenance services, some of them have yard services, those kind of jobs. But all the Puerto Ricans that I have met here have been nothing but super cool people.
And just the hardest workers. I mean, really the hardest workers.
Well, that's only because I make him do it.
Well, I don't mean just Jose. And Barbara says Jose is so funny when he and Skip go back and forth. Yeah, they're, you know, he's kind of like me. Jose gives him what for. And Louise says, better off to cook at home. You know what you are eating. Sometimes.
You know, and there's a curse to that because after, you know, half a century of being married, you know, by the way, people in jail that are committed for life for murder get out of jail after 50 years. And in marriage, you're just committed forever. That should be the new punishment for people that commit murder. I'm going to marry you to that person for the rest of your life. That should be the punishment.
Okay.
So anyway.
Yeah, this was my punishment.
I forget what he was talking about.
Yeah. Jose.
What about him?
Oh, yeah.
I do my best to take care of Jose, though, the best that I can. You know, we take him out to dinner and have him over to the house all the time when we can, and you know.
There's Jose and
you got to remember, he's
just...
one of my W&L crew also, and I treat my W&L crew totally different than a lot of other people. I don't treat them any better, but I just treat them more. You know, like I take them all out every year for a Christmas party, and I do what I can do.
Oh, Becky says brisket burger is just ground brisket. That makes
I've
sense.
just never had a brisket burger.
Yeah, I don't think I have
I've
either.
never been to a restaurant. I don't think it even offered a brisket burger. Is she from Texas? That just sounds like a Texas
Montana.
thing. Montana. Well, same thing as Texas.
Yeah, okay.
Kind of.
Well, Gracie Bird says, I tried Five Guys one time. The burger was so greasy, I never went back. When I was in the Villages, I tried Culver's for the first time and loved it. We're getting a Culver's next year, first one in Virginia. Oh, yeah, we had Culver's in Indiana. We really liked. I liked their ice cream, believe it or not. And I said they had. I don't necessarily like the butter burgers. Well, I said I don't do hamburger anyhow.
I think
But
everything's a butter burger anymore.
Their butter burgers are crispy, just like Steak and Shakes. They're crispy on the outside, and I never did care for that.
I don't care for that either.
But yeah, I just thought everything there was at Five Guys was just too greasy for me. My son loved it because he said he could see the grease on the bag that they put the fries in, and I thought,
at Five Guys?
yeah.
Truth of it is, a greasy burger is the best burger.
And I said I just didn't get it, you know. So
Wendy's is the same way. They put it in a to-go bag. You bring it home. You don't see it on the outside of the bag, but because it's wrapped up. But the wrapper itself, you see on. I don't know. I go back as a kid. We used to go to Jimmy's Dairy Bar, and then we got Spanish hamburgers that you don't even find anymore. Even the quick food places don't offer a Spanish hamburger. I don't get it. Just like breaded tenderloins. Nobody here offers a breaded tenderloin.
they do offer. They're just not what we're
What
used
fast
to.
food place could I drive up with a window and say, "I'll give you a breaded tenderloin"? Which one?
Fast
None.
food joint now, but restaurant there. You know, I know that Belglade has breaded tenderloin.
Like Indiana?
It's not like Indiana's.
I didn't
no.
think so.
But I said, remember that's the one I brought you, and you said, what is this?
Yeah, because
it had tomato and lettuce and.
No, it had cheese
and
weird stuff. That's not a tenderloin sandwich.
Well, you know, it all depends. A lot of people like all that stuff on it, so.
A lot of people. What people?
That's why I do the veggie burgers. I put a lot of stuff on it.
You know, give me a little slack. It's got to be hard for restaurants here to come up with a menu to satisfy people that's from all over the world.
That's true.
All of our tastes are different. This is why I hate food reviews. I hate it when somebody asks me. And I mean, literally, I just try to ignore these comments when I get them saying, where do you like to go for ribs? I generally won't send them a reply. because no matter what I say, it's going to be wrong. I'm never going to be able to satisfy everybody, and I've gotten that way on all the comments. If they ask the wrong question, I try to ignore it, or I give it a generic answer like, thanks for watching. That's the end of it.
Yeah, that's what he's being polite. Okay. Laura said she had to take the doggy outside. There's snow showers in Chicago right now. Oh, my. Well, I knew, that warm weather wasn't going to last for long because, you're not in summer yet, so.
I thought her dog was sick. Laura Lampy.
Well, like I said, not that kind of sick.
Huh?
Not that kind of sick. They just had to change it, dog food.
Oh.
But still has to go outside. It doesn't have a litter box.
Generally, when an animal's sick, it doesn't go outside much. Or,
Okay.
just like Katie when we had her, she just got to the point she couldn't stop peeing.
Oh, yeah.
We knew there was something wrong.
And Catherine Jacobson said in school for lunch they made wiener winks, which was a hot dog with bread around it, then baked in the oven. Delicious. I still bake them. Okay.
In school, I know everybody talks about school food and how terrible it is. Today, I can't speak for it, but when I was in school, the one on Thursdays, I remember Thursday, they had a thing called a pizza burger. I always looked forward to Thursday. Pizza burger and chocolate milk. Man, that was so good.
Yeah. Well, let's see. We're getting down to the wire here. So I guess I'll tell you what's going on.
Nothing's
There's a
going
few
on.
things.
This is a retirement community.
Are you kidding? This
Nothing's
is the business
going on.
retirement. I told the guy I had, the repairman that was on the phone, I said, oh, you never heard of the villages? You got to come here. He's in Texas. And he said, oh, we got a retirement village here. It's a Del Webb. I said, nothing like Del Webb.
Yeah, it is. That's where the idea came from. When Harold, he was friends with the guy that started Del Webb. I guess his name's Dale. I don't know. And that's where he got the idea for here. This place here is a little more upscale, I think.
Yeah,
From
well,
the Del Webb that I saw, Sun City, I think it's called, out in Phoenix area.
Arizona, yeah.
But I saw that 25, 30 years ago. I don't know what it's like today.
Well, and that's what he was talking about. He said, well, we have a retirement village here. I said, not like this.
Now, just remember, this place has been registered as a premier retirement community. So things here will be a little bit more upscale. That could be good, could be bad, depending on how you feel about it. But so far, like I've said before, I know on the news I do report some bad things, mostly bad things, because I know everybody else is putting on the act, so you can get your good news over there. And I just want you to get a good round figure of what's going on here. And it's almost got to the point now where all I say is I'm not sure it's a retirement community anymore. That school has really turned me off to this place. But I should say it's a large city, and it is. I think we're larger than Gainesville now.
Yeah. We're actually 4 cities now.
Yeah, I think it's just a large city with a large population of old people. That's what we are.
Okay. Oh, let's see. Scott Hirschman wants to know, who do you call to get a doctor who accepts United Healthcare in the villages? I'm here now and need a GP. Do you have the regular United Healthcare or do you have the Advantage plan? If you have the Advantage plan, you can call any of the villages network of healthcare facilities. If you don't, if you have United Healthcare and a supplement or just United Healthcare, you have to get a doctor that's outside of the system, which my doctor's outside the system. His name is Felix Agbo, and he has a office in south of 44, and he also has one in Lake Sumter. I think he's got like 3 other doctors with him. And I said, they're not in the Advantage plan system, so that might be somewhere you might check out for a GP. Otherwise, if you're in the Advantage plan, I said, call any of the villages healthcare centers and tell them, and they will set you up with a doctor. Okay, let me see. Last thing that we got going this weekend is the St. Patrick's Day Festival. They're going to have 2 this year. The St. Patrick's Day Festival and the Celtic Festival. The Celtic Festival is 49 Friday and Saturday in Lake Sumter Landing, and the St. Patrick's is at Spanish Springs from 49 on March 17th. Sawgrass FMK offers Celtic and Scottish foods. Victory in Middleton also has some of your Scottish favorites. Saturday, the 14th, is the Spring Craft Show from 9 to 2 at Laurel Manor Rohan, and Seabreeze. There's 300 tables throughout the 3 rec centers. And you may sound like that's a sprint going to all 3 of them, but I said go to 1 or 2 and then go to lunch and then go back and see the 3rd one. There's all kinds of stuff. See, Brownwood, this is having the hula hoop event. It's 10 a.m. I believe it's tomorrow. It returns to the square after 3 years hiatus, and bring your hula hoop and enjoy fun and exercise. And that will be, like I said, Brownwood Square at 10 a.m. tomorrow. March 20th is the Lieutenant Dan Band. It's a 3-day celebration. It includes dinner and a show at Savannah Center, an 18-mile bicycle ride for veterans, and a free concert. The show is sold out, but you can register for the bike ride and the lunch and movie screening at online at villagersforveterans.org. And y'all know Gary Sinise and the band that's backing him, and I said he's doing the shows that weekend. And I said, sounds like it's going to be, like I said, the show is already sold out, but to have the bicycle ride and all, like I said, it's a three-day event. So always helping the veterans with the Villagers for Veterans. And I think that's all I got right now. So y'all enjoy the sunshine. Hope y'all don't get too cold, and we'll see you on the other side.
Thanks, moderators, Jerry, Wrestler, Laura, however many moderators, I don't even know.